Sanibonani, namaste to everybody all over the world. And we are here in this vortex, the greatest vortex in the universe. The vortex of the Buddha himself, herself, itself, the metaphor. Buddha is just a metaphor. I keep on saying that. I'm with my friend here. It's my friend that I met 43 years ago at my own mission, long time ago, 43 years. We've been friends, and me and him have fought a lot whilst I was a fundamentalist. We fought a lot about his sexuality. We fought issues about his sexuality. And so maybe I want us to talk about this, for him to tell us a little bit about Buddhism and his own sexuality, Thailand, how he understands Thailand, and how his presence here. And I think we are coming here for the first time.
This is the first time.
The first time, so you can just...
Asia, yes.
Okay, so it's your turn now.
Yes.
Talk, tell the world about yourself, who you are, and express yourself as freely as you are, and also say how you've learned that people here express themselves freely.
Hello everybody, Tebu Homoyama here. I am a spiritual universalist, conscious, transcendent above everything that seeks to put people in boxes. I'm here in Thailand for the first time. I've been around the globe in the West, and I've experienced the West and the theology of the West, the religion of the West. Today I say, in my experience, it's a convergence of my knowledge and experience of the West and the East. The East has for me some incredible revelation of what human beings are. Of course, anytime you come to something new, the first thing that happens is like, wow, you're surprised how people interpret. One of the things I've seen, because there's no religion, people live free without the conscience of sin and guilt, as opposed to us in the West. Everything is based on dualism. There's left, there's right, there's righteous, there's unrighteous. Here I see people who have transcended that limitation and who are able to express themselves and allow themselves to unfold very naturally in their, I'll say, in their tripart of being spiritual, human, and physical. I mean, in spiritual, physical, and emotional. My friend, we fought a lot because we come from that fundamental charismatic Christian background and teaching, and we come from these 6 verses. I call them gate clobbering verses.
Yes.
Yeah, we were taught about this, and they wired us, as fundamentals, in picking and choosing verses that promote or verses that don't promote the existence of other people.
And let me tell you about the pain. The pain that I went through when I met you.
Yes.
Was that you were with Apostle Mapalala.
Yes.
A man I respected, a man who took me out of the God of my fathers, great-grandfathers. And also you were a member of this great group called the Conquerors of Christ.
Yes.
And now what caused me pain amongst the Conquerors of Christ was that these people were so gifted in being musicians. They were such wonderful musicians. They've got so much potential to transform the whole universe. But there was this one thing about conquerors, that there are gays amongst them. And I would say, man, these conquerors, they're so gifted, but they're also gay. There are also gays amongst them. And then I later understood that even their bishop, their apostle, was also gay. And it was a problem. And I felt that it was dividing the church. It was causing confusion. And you can tell stories about how many churches left Victory Fellowship, for instance. We were together at Victory Fellowship. People left Victory Fellowship. Victory Fellowship was split into pieces because of one thing: human sexuality. And people who talk about human sexuality have never even studied the Buddha. When we talk about the Buddha, we talk about a person of transcendence. There are 3 things. There are 3 things that the Buddha taught. Number 1, he taught about It's all about non-judgment.
Yes.
If you want to be a free person, be a totally non-judgmental person. Remove all judgment from your heart, and you'll find happiness. Number 2, it was non-resistance. When you stop resisting this present moment and you allow this present moment to be exactly as it is, you will be happy for the rest of your life. Number 3 was non-attachment. Don't be attached to anything. Don't be attached to your marriage. Don't be attached to your cars. You can have marriage, it's good. You can have cars, it's good. You can have houses, it's good. You can have properties, it's good. I've got all these things. Man, I've been everywhere. I've had mansions. I've had big cars. There's a car, came a time in my life when I say I'm getting rid. I've even lost my marriage. I lost my marriage because I said I can't be attached to this marriage and be who I am. I can't be attached to my pensions and be who I am. I can't be attached to my cars and be who I am. I can't be attached to all these material things and be who I am. I have to take a path of non-attachment, and that path of non-attachment led me to the light. The light. And I just want to invite Kuluma Palala to come, and because we many times we find that we misinterpret the teachings of Jesus, because I mean this guy has been around for many years.
Yeah.
I think you've been preaching for how many years now? 57 years. Okay, you can stand there in the middle. This is our apostle.
Yes.
Apostle Mandlam Sotu Mapalala.
Yes.
And now he's also coming here. He called me. He says, Muzi, I've been watching you. I watch all your Facebook posts. I've been watching your evolution. We've been together. I've been together with this man for 43 years. And me and him also. We fought over those 43 years.
Like
we
you fought with me,
as I fought with you, as I fought with the conquerors, as I fought and again, the reason why I decided to bring him to Thailand and to be with him, to make him experience a new world, was because also I saw his suffering. That he suffered because of who he is. Because of who he is. He suffered. He lost churches. He lost ministers. Many people called him names. And even some of the pastors who are womenizers. Even some of the pastors, I can name pastors. I can name the things that they do. But also, they left him. Because even though they do those things, because of one thing, misunderstanding human sexuality. But now, as we are coming to, we are bringing this thing to a close, I want him to talk about the relevance of Jesus and the Buddha. The relevance of Jesus as a light. Because the word Buddha, I'll keep on repeating. I will keep on repeating. The word Buddha simply means light. Now, look at this. There's light. We don't need light, we don't need lights, we don't need globes, we don't need anything. There's natural light. So in other words, there's Buddha up there. The Buddha, if you say up there, you see the Buddha is concealed and is favoring this moment. That's why I decided that before we eat, let us be here in the present moment and talk about Buddha and the light. The light, Buddha, and Jesus. Now, the correlation between Jesus, the light, and Buddha. Can you tell us?
Well, being around and seeing what I've seen so far, and hearing what I've been hearing, and seeing the reality of it, is that what Buddha says, it's exactly what Jesus said. I am the light of the world, and you are the light of the world. So the main message here that the Buddhism is promoting is to be the light. and the light shines upon everyone. It shines upon those you like, and it shines upon those you don't like.
True.
And it shines on the bad people. It shines
On the good people,
on the good
the rich
people.
and the poor.
So, in other words, as a light, you don't have space. Jesus made it very much impossible when he says, if you happen to have an enemy, then you have a prayer item.
Yes.
He says, now focus your prayers on the person you hate. In other words, Jesus is saying, don't even try to hate, because that's going to put a load on you to make sure that that person, you pray for him until you love him. Because no one is trained, no one is born hating. In other words, once you are born, we are born with love. Love is natural. But as you grow in the world that is polluted, you end up hating. Sometimes you hate even those who will help you. So I just want to encourage. This is not the first place I've been in my life. I was in Brazil. Inside the same statue of Jesus in Brazil.
Yes. The Maradona.
So,
What do you call it? The Christ the Redeemer.
Christ the Redeemer.
Christ the Redeemer. It's a big statue like this.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm simply saying, because other people will look at where I'm standing and says I'm here to worship an image.
But the problem Keka, with Christ the Redeemer is a Catholic metaphor, Catholic symbol. And many people resist it. Many people don't venerate it because now they say this is Catholicism and Catholicism is demonic. Now, in other words, for many people, Catholicism is demonic, Buddhism is demonic, Islam is demonic. This morning, I was woken up by the prayers of Islam. Did you hear them?
I hear them.
Did you hear Islam prayers?
Yeah.
This morning, I heard Islam prayers. Now, the other time, when I'm in my condo, I get woken up by the water. By this time, I was woken up by Islam prayers. And Islam prayers reminded me of what me and Gago spoke about yesterday, about Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, one of the great masters who lived before Buddha. Lao Tzu says any God that can be named is not the eternal God. Any way that can be named is not the eternal way. Now, I'm asking myself, did this Buddha, did this man meet Lao Tzu? Was this man influenced by the teachings of Lao Tzu? Because Lao Tzu lived before Buddha. Lao Tzu lived before Buddha. And Lao Tzu, and now when Buddha found enlightenment, he was within Hinduism. And now from Hinduism, and he was in royalty. He was wealthy. He was having bodyguards as a boy. He escaped from the royal palace, escaped the bodyguards, went into the world and saw suffering. And that's when he came with the teachings. So my question is, when the Buddha rejected all gods, when he rejected God and all gods, was it not the influence of Lao Tzu, who said any God that can be named,
Can be defined.
any God that can be defined, any God that can be named is not the right, is not the one. Whether you call it, whether you say it's Christ, whether you say it's Jehovah, whether you say it's Yahweh, whether you say it's Mahomet, whatever name, as long as you put a name to it, it is not it. That's why before the Buddha died, he said, if you see the Buddha, kill him. If you see the Buddha, kill him. And then the Buddha died. He says, if you see the Buddha, kill him. If you see anybody says, I am the light, kill that person, because the light is you. There's no light. There's no other light. There's no other light outside the light that is inside of you.
There's no other
The
God.
real you is the essence
of light.
It's the light that is in you. There's no, don't follow any other light. It says don't follow any other way except the way that you are, your being, your beingness.
So we follow what's within.
You follow your beingness. You live your beingness.
Can I ask you this? I heard you speaking. We're speaking about the light. We're speaking about the chaotic world. And the light comes upon every living being, the good, the bad, the righteous, the unrighteous, the fearful, the unfearful. Isn't that the world is where it is because fear has made us to exclude others from the table of common fellowship, which is called human fellowship. The very greatest command that Christ and every other teacher has called us to, that love your neighbor as you love yourself, and that seeks not to exclude anybody.
Yeah, Michael Beckwith. I was listening to Michael Beckwith yesterday.
Yes.
I don't know whether I showed you the clip.
Yes.
Michael Beckwith says fundamentalism is basically strengthened by fear.
Yeah.
Fundamentalists are fearful
Yeah.
that what they believe might be wrong.
Yeah.
What if I'm wrong? So I must be a fundamentalist. I must convert you.
Yeah.
I must make you believe what I believe, because maybe what I believe might be wrong. So there's this fire that makes me other people to be converted. Let's convert the whole world. Let the whole world believe like us. You see, that's fundamentalism.
Yeah.
You see?
And yet we should call the world to the light. We should call the world to embrace that diversity.
And Jesus,
Yeah.
Jesus himself
Yeah.
never preached to pagans. Jesus never preached to non-religious people. Jesus says, I was called to the children of the kingdom,
Yeah.
to the teachers of the law,
Yeah.
whom I call evangelical pastors today.
Yeah.
And Jesus says to evangelical pastors, he says, if the light, we are talking about now Buddhism, the light, the light,
metaphorical light.
this metaphor.
Yeah.
He says, if this light that is in you is actually darkness, how deep is that darkness? If this light, Buddhism, is actually darkness. Now, look at this one.
Yeah.
You see, look at this one.
Shining on
This
the
one, this one,
Yeah.
this one, this Buddha.
Yeah.
This one says, believe nothing.
Yeah.
It says, believe nothing. Believe your only experience only.
I love it.
Now, it says, believe nothing.
Yeah.
Believe your own experience only.
Only
Yeah.
as your life.
Believe nothing, because your own experience is the light. Okay, I'm going to ask Kesha to close now. We're closing this in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, the last 2 minutes now for Kesha, and then we close. Then we're going to go on a boat tour and see other images. These are just metaphors. Now, if you see me wearing this, I just bought this, and you see me, you know, when I was growing up, we used to have these things. And people used to say, Sangoma, you must not have these things. But now I've got all these things.
Yeah.
And also I've got my sister here, Sibongile. She's the reason why we are here today. If she didn't pass on, we wouldn't be here. Can you imagine? Everything is connected to everything.
Yes,
So I bought
synchronicity,
this.
yes.
I bought this because I'll be going to the monks to be blessed by the monks, and that's why I decided to buy this also as a blessing for Buddhism. So Kesha, in 2 minutes, just in 2 minutes, and then you are closing. The light, the light, the light. Buddha means the light.
The light.
The light. Buddhism is about light. The Buddha simply means the light. Jesus says, you are the light of the world. Jesus could have said, you are the Buddha of the world. Jesus could have said, I am the Buddha of the world, because Buddha simply means light. I will repeat this again and again and again and again
Right.
until it is deep in your subconscious mind that Buddhism means light. When Jesus said, you are the light of the world, he simply means you are the Buddha of the world. When Jesus says, I'm the light of the world, he simply means I am the Buddha of the world. Every one of us, all of us are Buddha. We are all Buddha. We are all light. In Christian language, we are all God. In Taoism, We are all the Tao. We can go to different religions and different metaphors and talk about this light in different languages and in different metaphors. This is a metaphor.
Yeah.
You are looking at a metaphor. What you are looking here, you are looking at a metaphor. It's just a metaphor. It's not a stick or ECD or whatever you call it. This is just a metaphor. Ketla, 2 minutes.
Okay. No,
I'm out of here.
thank you so much. Ukuthi ngifike la ngiyazi ukuthi ekhaya baningi abacabanga ngendlela engafani. I believe that's why the scripture will say, come let us reason together. We must not be afraid to brainstorm. We must not be afraid to be who we are, that we are born to become. Because ukuhluleka kwethu ukukhuluma lokho esiyiko nokuhlalisana sivumelane yikona okwenza ukuthi sihlale sehlukene. There's few things engizifundile since ngifike la. One, ngithole ukuthi abantu bayangena njoba ngime la baningi abantu mhlawumbe cameraman uzobonisa maka nesikhathi bayangena la baguqe bakhuleke akekho ophazamisa omunye beza la befocusile naba abanye bahlezi lapha phansi bayathanda so abanye bamukisa umnikelo etempeleni ngaphandle kwevesi. So there's many things that we can learn. So I am saying, before over critical of me and Umuzi and what he has seen, let us learn. iBhayibheli lithi hamba uye entuthwaneni filandini ufunde kuyo. So I believe ukuthi in myself, now I'm not even believing, I know these people are here, they are giving. I'm a monk, awaswele kudla. Abantu abalandela this belief, abaswele kudla. Kunokudla etempelini, amamonk anokudla. Umnikelo awugadwanga, ama-grocery awagadwanga ayangena. And akekho umuntu ola ofila condemned, ofil ukuthi I don't belong here. So we can learn from others. We can become better as we interlink with other people. I'm not disturbing your faith. Ngisho njengoba iBhayibheli lisho lithi iya entuthwaneni alithi ba intuthwane. Don't make conclusion. Ukuya entuthwaneni you don't become an ant, but you learn. A lesson will be learned there. uJesu waya kubalimi and he taught a lesson ngokulima. He went to the tax collectors. He taught about something about just collecting money. So I am encouraging you before over critical. Let us reason. Don't go out and start to speak something that you will not be able to say it in front of me, and that you won't be able to sit around the table and discuss it without prejudice. So I'm inviting the whole world, especially my fellow South Africans. It's time to brainstorm. It's time to challenge what we believe, why we believe what we believe. So I am not saying I'll sing this one. That's what I'm learning here. You are not talking about converting anybody. It's to see yourself the way God sees you. God created man in his likeness. That's what the scripture says. So if you understand that you are like God, you are short nothing of God. So izokusiza noma sesikhuluma brainstorm. I'm encouraging you. I hope when I go back home, I'll find men and women, boys and girls, pastors, bishops, archbishops, fivefold ministry, where we can sit and talk. Because lokho esikusabayo ikona okuzosivelela. Mhlambe some of you are afraid ukuthi le nto ingafika eSouth Africa. We have already this fundamental belief noma lenkolo ukumuza kuyo okwamanje. That's what we'll name it. Ukuthi is following a Buddhism. We have them. We have their temples all over South Africa and the world. So when anomonga saba ukuza la izoza kuwe, and if you cannot know the truth about them, your church, your members, your youth, pastors' children will leave and join them. So it's better ukuthi thina si understand ukuze sikwazi ukuyikhuluma ngaphandle kokwesaba. I think another challenge that we as Christian people have, everything that is not Christian to us is demons. So, ama-Christians ahlukene ngalendlela yokuthi you wonder which Bible each one reads. Le Bible elithi banemunye alisebenzeli, because there are so many bits and pieces zama-Christian in one city believing the same Bible. And I'm not criticizing them. I say, but it's time to examine why what we say we don't believe. The book that we believe in, the God that we believe in, it seems practically we are failing. I think before we criticize or before just examine where you stand. What is the relationship of pastors in the same village, in the same township, in the same city? So I think that will help us. Thank you so much. God bless. Lanabati Amaste. Minaniti Shalom. God bless you. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye-bye.